Hey, in this video I'm gonna share with you my best 7 tips on how to reduce stuttering anxiety. Now, it's absolutely fine to be emotional and feel excitement about speaking. Heart starts beating fast, your body's generating additional energy, especially when you're speaking in front of many people. But stuttering brings in a whole new universe of fears, worries, negative emotions, and avoidance behaviors. So how can we reduce or even eliminate stuttering anxiety? Tip number 1, think about your message and connection with your audience. Even before we start to speak, a lot happens in our mind and in our body. You see, there are many things, several things, or places where we concentrate our focus, where we kind of put the emphasis. And our mind tends to focus on things that it treats like danger. Thoughts like, I will stutter, I will look stupid, I will feel horrible, everyone will laugh at me, I'll be taunted, I'll be mocked, all sorts of bad stuff, right? And the problem is, we cannot turn it off. We cannot force our mind not think about it. What we can do is to try to focus on something else, because our mind cannot focus on several things at once. So we kind of try to outplay it. And at this point I can tell you that you are wonderful, you are brilliant. And yes, you are. But it's not quite working, quite helping at that point. First off, it's not about you, it's about them. Why you're speaking? Probably you have something to say, something to share. Maybe you want to persuade that person to do something. Maybe you want to share some feeling, or you want them to feel some way. You want to give some information maybe. So what is it you want? What is your message? And if you struggle with this, you say, oh, Andre, I really don't know. Or this is just the first time I see this person. In this case, what you probably want to do is at least you want to build an emotional connection with that person. And I always say that maybe this is the real true reason why we're speaking, is because we want to connect with other people on a deep emotional level. And that shifts your focus from your ego to really serving, helping people, to building that connection with other people. And this reduces anxiety. And afterwards, after you've spoke with a person, it leaves you with the positive feeling, even if you didn't do so well with your speaking. Tip number 2, you choose it. Now, we can feel very differently about the same thing depending on how we treat it. When you choose something, when you really want something and you do it, usually it doesn't matter how actually you did it. You anyway feel you have some sense of accomplishment. So it's not only about them, it's also about you getting better. And when I say getting better, it doesn't mean your number of impediments you're having or how severe they are. It can be the criteria if you are working on improving your speech, but the main criteria is your message. How did you deliver your message? Did you have a message at all? Were you open and transparent with that person? Did you manage to build an emotional connection? When you start looking at it this way, you see that it's a valuable experience. You are learning from it. It's a challenge that can make you better. So when you add this new criteria to your speaking, it becomes something that you can choose and want and anticipate. And when you really want to choose and anticipate something, you go for it. It reduces your anxiety, and again, once you've done that speaking, it leaves you with a feeling of accomplishment, no matter how you did with your speaking technically. To the contrary, when you don't choose it, you don't want it. I don't want it really. Only fear and a lot of negative emotions. In this case, it adds up a lot of anxiety, right? And it doesn't really matter how well you did. You'll find something that spoils the whole picture, and you'll feel like a total disaster each time in this case. Tip number 3, breathing and relaxation. So before we start to speak, we've done some mental preparation. How can we help our body to reduce anxiety? Well, we cannot control our heart, right? Which starts beating fast. But we can control our breathing. So you just take deep, long breaths and breathe slowly. This way we set a pattern for our heart to follow and slow down and reduce anxiety this way. Another thing is we try to relax. So our body gathers a lot of tension, so if you have a moment in the corridor, in the elevator, behind the scenes somewhere, before you enter that room, before you start speaking, just gather all your tension and let it out. Okay, let yourself be loose, and then you go to speak. Tip number 4, pause and eye contact. I was absolutely amazed one day by one speaker. She came to the room, came on stage, and she took a long pause. Just looking at the people, looking at the audience, smiling at people, and saying hello with her eyes. Establishing eye contact. Why do we need an eye contact? Everyone is talking about the importance of eye contact. But only then I realized, what is that actually? It's not about staring at each other. It's not about keeping your eyes open. And how long can you do that? It's about establishing that connection that we talked about in the previous tips. So that woman, she got all people, she made all people become silent. Everyone became attention, all ears. So she got a complete emotional connection with her audience, and after that, only after that, she started to speak. Now, that's something that reduces anxiety, I believe, because here we hit our main goal, to connect with that person in front of us. And once we already reach that goal, that main goal, we feel much better. We feel kind of accomplished. So it's much easier to continue this way. And we also can use that during our speaking, the cause of our speaking. We can make a pause and reconnect with that person. Tip number 5, letting others know that you stutter. When I made a poll among people who stutter, 80% of them said that the best way to reduce stuttering anxiety is to simply let other people know that you stutter. And that makes sense, because people expect us to be fluent, or we think they expect us to be fluent. So we try hard oftentimes to be fluent. I'll do my best, but I know I won't do it, so I fail. And people oftentimes don't know how to react, so they feel pretty awkward about it. So we put them in that situation as well. So I fail, they fail, and it creates even more awkwardness, and adds up to our shame and desire to stop it and avoid speaking the next time. So by simply letting other people know, we eliminate all this, and we put the stage for more confidence and self-esteem. Because other people see that we take responsibility for ourselves, including our speaking. We have the courage to own all of us, including our stuttering. Tip number 6, eliminating speech impediments. Once I read in a book, quote, "The best way to reduce stuttering anxiety is to eliminate speech impediments," unquote. And I really like that. It's self-explanatory. If I know that I won't have speech impediments, I won't stutter actually, then I don't have stuttering anxiety, right? Well, the idea is very simple, yet it's not that simple, not that easy to actually do it. One of the options here is you can go to my Improve program, where I show you exactly how you can do it. You can find the link to the Improve program down below the video. It's absolutely free. Tip number 7, flood yourself with speaking. This flooding principle was originally used to overcome phobias. So phobia is a fear that you shouldn't have. Something you worry about and you don't need to worry about, right? It's like fear of height, fear of water, fear of darkness, stage fright. So for example, if I have a stage fright, they would tell me, "Come on, Andre, go and make speeches every day." And you kind of flood yourself with this, with doing what you're afraid of, and the fear goes away and anxiety is reduced. With stuttering, it's not that easy, because it's tricky actually, because I do feel my speech impediments, blocks, prolongations, repetitions, and they do cause tension, fatigue, actually internal pain, I would say. So it's not just a phobia, it's something real, something unpleasant that I feel. So some people say that it's great anyway, it reduced my anxiety, improved my fluency. Some experts say that you shouldn't use this flooding technique because the more you stutter, the more stuttering experiences you collect into your muscle memory, the stronger your stuttering gets. So let's leave this argument aside. It's clear that if you use some technique to eliminate speech impediments, that this flooding principle is something that you have to use, you need to use, because the more you use your new speaking technique, your new speaking skill, the better. And if you don't use it most of the time, there is just a big chance that it won't work for you. I'm a big fan of simplicity, so if you want to make it simple and 7 tips is too much for you, remember just the last 2. Eliminate speech impediments and flood yourself with speaking and using your new speaking skill. This is the way, what I call, to build a new automated speaking pattern. Would love to hear your comments. Please share how you reduce or eliminate stuttering anxiety. Go inside the Improve program, like Free From Stutter Facebook page, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video. One of the options for you here is to go to my Improve program, where I show you exactly how you can, where I'll show you, where I'll show you exactly how you can do it. The idea is pretty simple, right? And I really like that. It's self-explanatory. You can find a link to the program down below the video. It's absolutely free.